fans inside the ground, but I would have to say we don't have very many fans inside the ground, because the Sheffield Wednesday supporters, there's all sorts going on at this football club, as I'm sure many people are well aware. It's a sad time for such a big, famous, historic old club, but there are many fans who've decided that they don't want to go and watch home games at Hillsborough these days, and that shows from the sparse gathering of home supporters down below us in the two tiers below in the main stand. We can see a few people in there, but as we look out across the pitch, there are no more than 20 supporters in the stand opposite us with a couple of flags. And then away to our left-hand side is the site of an almost full away end. So the Leeds United fans have come in their thousands to watch this Carabao Cup tie, and pretty much nobody else has turned up. So it's an odd one all round. It's an odd one when you look at the calibre of the two teams that are playing as well. Leeds United side has many of the new signings involved, 5 making their debut for the club this evening, 9 changes from the team that played at Arsenal. But there's a real strength in terms of what Leeds are putting out for the starting 11 tonight, in complete contrast to the Sheffield Wednesday team that is literally, bar well, effectively 2 players, is just a team of players brought from the youths. So the average age is going to be somewhere around about the early 20s, and it's only bumped up really by Horvarth, the goalkeeper, and in particular by Lowe, who's the captain for them. The only 2 who really have got any amount of first-team experience in the team. So it's a hugely inexperienced Sheffield Wednesday side against a much more experienced Leeds United side, and I think the phrase that we'll be using more than once this evening is men against boys, because that is almost quite literally what it is. We have Ben Parker amongst the commentary team this evening. Ben's been busy before the game talking to fans, but we also have Andy Cousins, so we've made a change to the squad here this evening. As Andy's alongside me for the time being, we're going to make a substitution at half-time, and Andy will get a rest, possibly if he gets the call up for a Newcastle game at the weekend, I don't know. But we will be dipping into the squad for the coverage of this game this evening. Ben Parker has just arrived with the drinks, and that is his first 45-minute role well and truly achieved. So we've had all the build-up, we've got all the noise that you would get for a big game, but the one thing we have is this very, very different sense, this very, very different visual. When you look around the ground, there's almost nobody here in 3 out of the 4 stands here at Hillsborough. Leeds United are out and are lining up in front of us. Sheffield Wednesday in their blue and white stripes, and Leeds United are going to be wearing the very dark kit this evening, effectively black. And for these Leeds players who are going through the pre-match routines with their opponents, a number of them will be feeling that this cup tie presents the first real chance they've had to make a big impression in terms of their hopes and aspirations to make sure that they are in the starting lineup for even the next game, Newcastle, the next Premier League game, Newcastle, this coming weekend at Ellen Road. So you would expect that there's going to be a real desire amongst the group to do well here. And as we've been discussing in the build-up, the team, of course, captained by Sam Byram, who goes to applaud those mass ranks of Leeds fans behind the goal. So the Sheffield Wednesday side, the young Sheffield Wednesday side, occupies the goal at the moment in front of the Hillsborough Cop. And there's absolutely, I say there's nobody in it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 stewards in it, and that's all. So, whilst the traditional pre-match anthem bangs out here, normally this is the one that everybody inside the ground joins in with, but tonight's not normal, is it?
It's not normal at all, Bryn. It's a really sad state, isn't it, for Sheffield Wednesday? From Leeds' point of view, we've got a fantastic support, as always. You know, we've got to our left here, you know, a full stand. I'm sure there'll be a full voice from the first whistle. But look, it's a great test from the lads tonight in Sheffield Wednesday colours, because Leeds have come with a very, very experienced squad, and you'd expect nothing else really tonight but for us to dominate the ball, to move it around nice and quick, and hopefully get that early goal, and we can just have a very, very easy night. But look, this is the Sheffield Wednesday side of things. They've got nothing to lose, have they? They can just come out and play, you know, as long as there's no egos in there. But look, it should be not a comfortable night, but it could be a really good night for Leeds. And I think that having a cup run is a really important thing. I love that Sam Byram's the captain tonight. He's been from apprentice all the way through, cleaning Ben Parker's football boots to captain in the first team. It's a fantastic thing for Sam, and he's been a great servant these last couple of years for us, and he deserves to be captain tonight in this fantastic football club.
Anyone who survives the ordeal of cleaning Ben Parker's boots deserves reward at some stage in their career. And so Sam Byram, who's played in the Premier League for Leeds United, and tonight he wears the armband as well. There's a bit of a roar from the gathered thousands in the main stand here as the hi-ho silver lining flares out over the PA system. But as soon as they turn that down, I think it will be Leeds voices only that you will hear inside this ground, and hopefully that continues to be the case for the rest of the evening as well. The game is underway. Sheffield Wednesday started off, and that Leeds United side, Darlow, Longstaff, Piroe, Aaronson, Nmecha, Bijol, Okafor, Harrison, Bornauw, Byram and Gruev, and strong bench as well when you look at the subs for Leeds tonight. Perry, Bogle, Goodmanson, Roden, James, Calvert-Lewin involved for the first time, Stach, Gnonto, and one youngster, Harry Gray. So Leeds have brought a very strong squad here down the M1, and there's an expectation, of course, on the basis of the calibre of the two teams, that Leeds make progress tonight. But as everybody knows, cup football is rarely quite that straightforward. So Sam Byram with the throw-in for Leeds goes back to Bornauw, and Bornauw into Darlow. Carl Darlow's chance to get back into the starting 11 after his heroics at the back end of last season. I say heroics, actually his defensive unit in front of him, as he was quick to admit, really gave him very good protection through those closing games when Leeds were in fine form. 6 consecutive victories at the back end of last season, added with the win in the first Premier League game, and then the Arsenal trip we won't mention again. And now it's Carabao Cup football that takes our attention. The League Cup as was, the League Cup that Leeds won in 1968. Both these clubs are previous winners of this competition in its many guises. Sheffield Wednesday won it as a second division side when they beat Manchester United in 1991 by a goal to nil, I think it was, wasn't it? John Sheridan scored it. So both teams have tasted success in this competition. And Andy Cousins, you were part of the squad, part of the team even at Wembley for the Villa game?
Yeah, the 96, we were down there at Wembley. Unfortunately, it wasn't our day against Aston Villa, but I think a good cup run it just breeds confidence within the dressing room. You know, certainly from my point of view, when we were back then, it really brought us together. But also the people on the periphery of the first team, you know, can get the chance to come and get some match fitness, because playing games is nothing like training. You know, you need these match fitness, these games to come out there, and you know, for the guys who are on the bench on Saturdays in the Premier League, because all of these out here tonight have got a point to prove. They all want to play in that first team and get the shirt, and so they've got something to prove to the manager. But I think we're going to see a lot of what we've already seen, keeping hold of the ball a little bit, moving it around. Let's you know, make Sheffield Wednesday run after the football, and we'll have a lot of possession, I think, in this game, Bryn. But look, they all want that shirt on the Saturday at Newcastle.
Well, that's the aim of the exercise for everybody in the starting 11 for Leeds tonight. So there's a number of new arrivals who've had moments perhaps in pre-season games, but Okafor, for instance, has had his short cameo basically at Arsenal on Saturday, but he would love an opportunity to just put himself in line potentially for the place in the starting 11. So we would expect to see Leeds players keen to impress here. Leeds have a throw in the Wednesday half, just inside the Wednesday half. It comes back into Leeds territory, and Bijol across the back to Gruev. Gruev, one of the survivors from that Arsenal side on Saturday. Bijol, who was suspended for the first game of the season.
Tony Rigo speaks very highly of him, doesn't he? He's a leader. He wants the ball. He wants to go and win the ball, but also very good on it. So you know, I'm really interested to see how he plays down that left-hand side tonight. As I am with a lot of them, that, you know, as I said, they've all got points to prove. Jack Harrison down there as well. He's got a point to prove to the fans. So you know, they've all got something to prove to themselves and also to people in their own minds. You know, that they are good enough to play in this first team and play for Leeds United.
There's Okafor on the ball, and now Harrison on the touchline, level with the edge of the Wednesday penalty area. Back it comes to Longstaff to deliver a ball to the upper chest of Aaronson. Aaronson out to the right side, and Byram turns well. Aaronson finds space in the penalty area, and then it breaks kindly for Byram, who plays it to the penalty spot from where it's cleared away. And for the first time, Sheffield Wednesday saw the opportunity to break forward, and it was a strong challenge on the halfway line from Bijol that was a clean challenge, but won the ball back for Leeds.
Good little play in their box there from Aaronson. I thought he might have had a quick shot there instead of trying to pass it, but a little bit better going forward. And Sam Byram's little ball, you know, little run back there created that space. And again, you'd expect our forward men to find space around the. You know, these are very experienced players with playing against a very unexperienced Sheffield Wednesday game. It's got a bit of a feel of a youth. Back in my day, a little bit of a reserve team game, a little bit, but some good play down there on the right hand side from Sam and Aaronson. Harrison
in possession in the Sheffield Wednesday half for Leeds, turns and comes back to the halfway line, and Bornauw alongside him at the back as Daniel Farke tests a new defensive partnership. Harrison to his left to Okafor, and back to Harrison again. Turn once more to Noah Okafor, infield to Longstaff. Real incentive for Sean Longstaff to put on a show tonight. I'm sure he would desperately love to be involved against Newcastle, his former club, on Saturday evening. Sam Byram for Leeds, back to the halfway line to Bornauw. It's been a very pleasant day, by the way, in Yorkshire, west and south, and it's been pretty warm as well. So it was in the early 20s as the teams came out, the players came out for the warm-up. It's not dipped too much below, so it's an extremely pleasant, mild evening here at Hillsborough. Leeds attacking down the left side with Harrison putting the ball into the box. Aaronson takes it down inside the penalty area. Pass is short of Gruev, but it comes out for Bornauw. Gruev, short ball into Piroe. And then it's turned back to Bornauw and out to Bijol and out to the left side, and Harrison silhouetted against the illuminated advertising hoardings on that far side. Piroe tackled well as he tried to work the ball. Thornston stepped in, and Sheffield Wednesday are lively on the counter-attack here, and it requires a challenge coming in from Bijol, which takes the ball behind, and you hear the roar because Sheffield Wednesday have the game's first corner kick.
Absolutely, we can't see them, but we can hear them. You know, it's they've won it in the midfield, a little bit slack from Piroe in there, and you know, Bijol's had to make the challenge. It's gone to a corner, and this may be something they've really worked on, Sheffield Wednesday, because they're expecting not to have much of the football tonight, and set pieces will be important for their point of view, but we just need to switch on. It's all about how we go for the game tonight. It's how we play, it's how we do it mentally. The manager in there would have been telling them exactly that, to concentrate a lot, and this is the point where they need to be doing that.
So the corner kick is curled into the penalty area. Lowe is the target, headed away by Gruev. Aaronson on the edge of the D tries to clear forward, and then Gruev comes in behind, but he can't keep the ball for Leeds. Jamal Lowe forwards, and then it's cleared back towards Thornton, almost on the halfway line. The charge down the left-hand side, the ball cut back towards the edge of the Leeds penalty area, but Gruev intercepts and gives the ball to Byram. A short pass to Aaronson, hemmed in, so he has to go back to goalkeeper Darlow, and he delivers the ball high in the air, and it drops just inside the Leeds half. Nmecha underneath it. Interested to see how Nmecha and Piroe worked up front. whether they work alongside each other or one just behind the other.
They seem to be playing a little bit more forward, don't they? They don't seem to be somebody playing in the 10 hole. I really like Piroe in the number 10 role, in that little hole, finding little spaces. I think he's very intelligent in that space. You know, Nmecha itself, we know what we've got from him. He's gonna stretch the team. He's gonna move them around on the wings and move around in that sense. They do seem to be playing quite close to each other up there, though, at this present moment in time. So let's see how that develops.
Harrison, left side for Leeds, curls the ball beyond the run of Longstaff, and it's safely into the hands of Ethan Horvarth. The Sheffield Wednesday keeper is another one who's made his debut, I think it was, at Wrexham on Saturday in their last championship match, and he only arrived because the usual keeper got injured and they had to get dispensation from the EFL, transfer bans and all the rest of it, to go and sign a goalkeeper because they didn't have another one of any kind of actual relative age. So Horvath came in on as an emergency loan signing, and he was involved in that game. Sheffield Wednesday earned their first point of the season at the racecourse on Saturday, coming back from 2 down to draw 2-2 with Wrexham. Ball down the right-hand side for Leeds United, and Byram right up by the corner flag. Byram to Piroe just outside the area. Goes past one challenge but gives it back to Byram again, returns it to Piroe. Piroe gets it back again, plays it across the middle. Harrison lets it run to the left side of the penalty area. Okafor takes his man on, gets a break, gets the ball back, now curls it into the penalty area. Byram waits far post and it eventually comes to him. He chests it down. Sam Byram with a step over. It goes to Aaronson. Aaronson forced away from goal. Dogged pressing from the Sheffield Wednesday defenders, and Leeds end up back on the edge of the centre circle with Bijol to Harrison, and then Harrison to his left to Okafor. Jack Harrison operating down that left-hand side alongside Okafor at the moment. Nmecha can't get past the second challenge. Gruev still diverts the ball out for Harrison. Tries to cross, and now Leeds have their first corner kick as Harrison's attempted ball in is deflected behind.
Working very hard, Sheffield Wednesday, aren't they? They're really working hard to break the ball down and not give us the space which we want around the box. But a dangerous position now, coming in from the corner. We know that we've got the height, you know, from all the new signings which we've brought in, and you know, it's now about the delivery into the right areas of Sheffield Wednesday's box. But much better. You know, I'm pretty impressed with Sheffield Wednesday so far. They've worked the socks off.
And they're going to have to carry on doing that, you would imagine, as the corner comes in now. The heads go up and it's cleared out of the penalty area. Not sure if that didn't come off the head of Sam Byram, who ended up on the floor in the midst of it all. Leeds do pick up possession, but they're a long way from the Wednesday box now. Harrison carrying it forward for Leeds down the left side. Again, wide to Okafor. Step over, and then he just tucks it back into Harrison. Curls it onto the chest of Okafor, who moved into the penalty area, but can't control in there, and his marker falls to the ground and actually loses possession as a result. So Harrison has it. Harrison curls it into the centre of goal from where it's headed away by Ernie Weaver. It comes back out for Gruev, and already the pattern of this game is pretty much set, isn't it, as Byram now attacks the penalty area. He's tackled successfully though, and Sheffield Wednesday, well, they briefly had it before Byram won it back for Leeds. Now Aaronson down the right side, level with the edge of the Wednesday box. Leeds have a throw in. Back it comes for Bornauw. Kind of game where it's kind of hiding for nothing in some senses for Leeds, isn't it? Because the expectation is, of course, they win the game, but the longer they aren't doing that, then the
pressure builds.
The pressure builds, yeah.
It is one of them games where we've got everything to lose and they've got nothing to lose really on that side of it. And you know, these young kids who are out there, they're fighting for a break off.
Bogle in for Okafor, nicely played into his path. His cross didn't find a teammate though, and when the ball was cleared out as far as Gruev, his header went straight to the opposition. The ball with Fusire down the Sheffield Wednesday right. He's won his team a throw-in, Zimbabwe international.
I thought he could have had a go at that one there. I thought he was through and he could have had a go at the goal there, or at least put, you know, shoot across the goal, so the keeper's going to make a save because we had bodies in the box, but it did break for him. I thought we would have had a shot on target there of some sort, but the quality of the cross just wasn't there.
Wednesday, neat play out from the back, but Bornauw strong in the challenge, and then the ball sails into touch as he couldn't keep possession of it, but still the man running forward, Thornston, wasn't able to control the ball successfully, and it went out for a Leeds throw in, which has been taken. Is now Harrison, who's down the left hand side, and on to Okafor, who's taking his man on. Now there's a bit of space in front of him to move into. Rolls his cross in. Nmecha leaves it for Aaronson, and Aaronson's attempt at goal is blocked. And Piroe now on the ball in the penalty area. Piroe surrounded by blue and white shirts, and because of that can't divert the ball back to a teammate. So Leeds have to start again with Bornauw, and now Byram, almost in crossing distance, but elects to go back instead to Bornauw. Gruev across the middle to Longstaff, and then out to the left it goes. First time ball from Okafor to Harrison, and back to Longstaff, and now Gruev. Bijol, Bornauw. Sam Byram down the right side, just clips it down the line for Aaronson. Nice attempt at a flick from Aaronson, but it's blocked off. It comes out for a Leeds United throw in.
Good bit of pressure though, wasn't it? You know, Okafor down that left-hand side, showed his pace, good ball in, just didn't fall for us in the box, but it's a great, you know, tackle from their, you know, right back here, and it's still 0-0, but you can see what's happening, can't you, Brim? We're gonna, it's attack versus defence. You know, we're keeping hold of the ball, we keep moving it around. You know, we've just got to find that little, you know, bit of quality in the final third.
Byram's cross in is beyond everybody in the penalty area, and it is just about kept in down the far side, and then it's given away to Harrison into the box with menace. Drops on the penalty spot for Nmecha to turn it goalwards, and it's straight at the goalkeeper. Horvarth though has had his first save to make. It was an easy one, padded it down to the ground and then picked it up.
A good turn and shot though there, just if anything kind of caught it a bit too well. Anywhere to the side of the keeper there, it's 1-0 to Leeds. You know, but good build-up play again, and it's got into a dangerous area, and Piroe's just found his strike partner in the right area, and you know, got a shot on target, but the keeper's in the right place at the right time.
Sheffield Wednesday get a free kick in the Leeds half. Bornauw, arms wrapped round his opponent, and the referee points in Wednesday's favour, so that means a free kick from just outside the centre circle. It's central, obviously, and they're electing to throw everybody up for this one. So Thornton currently stands over the ball. Jarvis Thornton, and now gives a little signal to his teammates. Ball is headed goalwards, and Darlow comes through a crowd of players to catch high in the air, just to ensure that there was no danger when it dropped. He throws out quickly to Harrison down the Leeds United left. Leeds kicking left to right in this first half. Gruev now across the middle through Bornauw. Byram back to Bornauw, and then he's pressurised as he tries to play the ball forward, and doesn't succeed in keeping it in play, and doesn't win a free kick either. So it's a Sheffield Wednesday throw in. Henrik Pedersen is the Wednesday manager these days. I use the term days is possibly accurate, because there's so much upheaval at this club. I think managers are possibly at the stage of measuring their tenure in days now, but he's the man in charge after Danny Roll left. He was Roll's assistant, and so he's stepped up. He's done plenty of management work elsewhere around Europe, and he has this unenviable task of trying to make something happen with these 13 fit first team players that Wednesday have, and then this group of young players who are all that's available to back them up these days.
And what we've seen so far, these young players are, they're not too shabby either, some of them. You know, they're quite comfortable on the ball. I think down this right hand side from Leeds' point of view, we can create some space, but you know, overall they're working very, very hard, which, you know, that's what they're going to have to do all night, you know, to contain this this Leeds team.
Long ball through the middle. Bornauw wins the header. And it's taken down by Jamal Lowe, a very experienced player up front for Sheffield Wednesday. He's obviously the captain for the evening. Ball is played up into the Leeds half. Gruev is there trying to keep it away from Thornston. It's gone out for a throw-in. So whilst those two tussle, the referee blows and indicates that Leeds have the throw down by the corner flag. Byram short throw to Gruev. Back it goes to Byram, quickly closed down, so he has to loop it down the line. Headed infield, and Wednesday have the possession with Rio Shipston back into his own half to Otegbayo. And then Byram with the header out. And then it's cleared into touch, or it's passed into touch, I should say. A misplaced ball by Cole McGhee. So it's a Leeds throw in. Byram, ball in hand. Looking to throw into the penalty area. The Leeds penalty area. Bijol pushes the ball out to Harrison, who can have a real bit of a run here, Jack Harrison. There's a lot of green space in front of him, so he's well up in the Wednesday half now. Comes back inside to Longstaff, and now Gruev through the middle for Piroe. Piroe back to Byram. Aaronson. And Byram back into his own half to Bornauw. Across the middle for Bijol. Left for Longstaff. And Harrison has it now for Leeds. Sheffield Wednesday players are showing a willingness to really press and get stuck in, trying to win the ball back. So Leeds aren't having it easy when they're in possession currently. They have the ball now with Okafor, and back to Longstaff again. Harrison puts the ball over the top, but Okafor's not getting to that one. It's headed away from him, but then given away. Gruev back in. There's a linesman flag that indicates that Okafor had come back from an offside position to get the pass there in from Gruev. So that will be a Sheffield Wednesday free kick.
Very disciplined, aren't they, at the minute, Sheffield Wednesday? They're doing very well at the back. They're keeping very, very organised in the back four and the four in midfield, which is making it hard for Leeds' point of view to find the little gaps which we want to find. You know, we're going down the side and coming back out. It's very much the theme of the night so far, isn't it? We just keep passing it across and bringing across either side, and we're trying to create that space to find a little bit of a gap to get in there. But Sheffield Wednesday, give them credit when we can. You know, they're defending. You know, and they're making it very hard for the Leeds team at this present moment in time.
There's a foul on Jack Harrison, who's back in the left back position, which is his starting position for this one this evening. So Leeds with a free kick just outside the penalty area. Goes short to Longstaff. Gruev moving the ball to his right. I'm convinced somebody in the stand has got a whistle here as well, because they keep hearing a high-pitched blast. I may be being overly paranoid around the mood of protest that currently exists at Sheffield Wednesday. Nmecha onside, is he? Yes, he is. Able to shoot goalwards, and he takes the opportunity as well. And it dips, but it doesn't quite dip enough. And Horvarth was able to watch that one just go over his crossbar.
Yeah, good effort. He's made the run down there. He's turned back onto his right-hand side there, and just seeing the keeper off his line a little bit, 25 yards out, decided to try and put it into the top corner. But it's a theme of the night, isn't it, Brim? We're keeping all that football. We're moving it around. We've got 80% of the possession so far. That tells you everything you need to know. Just the final third, we just need that little bit of quality in front of it. Find the little gaps which we want to find. You know, he has brought back into that number 10 role a little bit more now than what he was. There's a bit more space down the left-hand side from Leeds' point of view, but you know, a good effort there from Nmecha, and you know, we need a few more shots. We've only had 2 shots on goal on target so far, and you know, we need a few more really against this very, you know, youthful Sheffield Wednesday team.
24th minute, and it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Leeds United 0. And of course we do have a conclusion to this tie no matter what this evening. If at the end of 90 it's all square, we go straight to penalties. that would be a situation that Sheffield Wednesday would regard as being a victory even before the outcome of the penalty shootout. If that were to be the case, Leeds have it to do here to make sure it absolutely isn't. Fusire out to his right, back into the Wednesday half, and then it's played through the middle. Bornauw will have to defend this under pressure, which he does. It goes back to Darlow. Darlow out to the left of the penalty box, and Bijol. Bijol to Bornauw. This is usually a cauldron of noise for a Sheffield Wednesday Leeds game. You know, obviously last season, season before also, very different atmosphere this evening, with really only one significant set of supporters inside the ground. Aaronson, back he goes to the halfway line to Bornauw. Gruev to his left, to Bijol. Puts it up over the top, looking for the run of Piroe, takes it down. Aaronson is trying to get through here, and he's just held up. He's held up well, actually. Good defensive work by Cole McGhee. Had to get his challenge right there, McGhee, and he timed it well to prevent Aaronson having a shot.
Yeah, the first touch from Piroe just got under his feet a little bit and just couldn't quite get the shot off, because I think Piroe was wanting to take that on more than, you know, let it run for Aaronson. But then when it dropped for Aaronson again, you know, you just want him to pull the trigger on it. But good defending from Sheffield Wednesday's point of view. They've got bodies in the way, and you know, again, another one which has just got away from us. But we're starting to probe a little bit more now, aren't we? We're making a few more chances going forward. You know, the little gaps just opening up as well. So Leeds are still in search of that opening goal. Could make a real difference in terms of the shape of the game. Well, Sheffield Wednesday have to come out then. If we get the first, they have to come out. They can't just stick there, you know, and think that we're going to get a set piece or something like that. Once we get the first, hopefully, you know, as we said before, the floodgates might open, because this youthful team which Sheffield Wednesday have got are full of energy at this present moment in time. But when they have to come out and actually go, they're very disciplined at the minute. The back four, back five, you know, I think they've got there's 5 at the back and there's 3 in the midfield, and they're ready, you know, to pounce on anything as, you know, Leeds has got going forward. But if we get one, they have to come out. They have to change their tactics a little bit. Well, every Wednesday player is in his own half at the moment, as Leeds now move it to the right side, but it's a misplaced ball from Bornauw, and it's behind Byram, and it's out for a throw-in. So he has to offer apologies to Sam Byram, and Sheffield Wednesday more than happy to see the pressure relieved perhaps a little by that misplaced ball. And the throw-in will be taken by McGhee down the line onto the head of Byram, clumped forward. Bijol's behind it, nods it back to Darlow, just about lets it run into his hands in the penalty area. Lowe was closing in on him, just made it through to the keeper. Now Harrison on the halfway line. Short pass square to Longstaff. Longstaff back to Harrison. Harrison ups the pace here, then pushes it out wide to Okafor. Okafor looking to whip a ball in over the head of Nmecha. Aaronson at the back post, good save from Horvarth, pads it away. Best sight of goal that Leeds have had so far. Aaronson on the end of the cross. Keeper was equal to it. Great bit of play down that left-hand side, wasn't it? Great ball in on his right foot. You know, it just missed the first man, and Aaronson was round the back and just didn't quite get enough onto it round the back there for the keeper, just to have maybe a little bit more time to get across to make a good save. But again, as we said earlier on, it's just opening up a little bit. You know, we're creating a little bit more space. You know, we've got possibly another bit here. Well, it's a misplaced ball from Piroe, because Leeds were well positioned then. They've been given the ball back outside the penalty area, as they have just been again there. Piroe involved. Bornauw now to Gruev. Just the first signs that the Wednesday players, the level of intensity that's been required just to keep Leeds out in these opening 25 minutes. As Okafor dances into the penalty area, he goes down, and the referee sees nothing untoward with a challenge that sends him to the ground. Leeds pick up on the clearance with Harrison, who's been lively down that left side. He's busy again here now. Puts his cross in. It's over everybody though. That one overhit from Jack Harrison. Piroe was the last man, and he was on the roughly level with the penalty spot, and it's come out over this near side touchline for a Wednesday throw in. I actually thought that might have been a penalty there. We haven't got any replays or anything else here, but I thought he caught him, you know, from where we are. But you know, that little injection of pace into the box. Once you touch somebody normally in there, you can't really, you know, a little touch on the back of the heels or anywhere around the legs or anything, they're going to go down. And you know, Harrison went down there. But again, we're probing. The Sheffield Wednesday giving the ball back a little bit easier now to us. We're putting the pressure on ourselves. You know, now's the time to really turn the screw and let's get that first goal in.
Leeds trying that now as Aaronson put a cross in. It went across the penalty area. It comes out for Harrison. He's looped one in high, and that's going to go beyond everybody and out. And that's going to be a goal kick. And Jack Harrison will be disappointed with that.
He had so much time there as well. He could have picked his player out. He's tried to, I think, whip it in, and he's got his foot right underneath it. And you know, disappointing that he's gone straight out of play in a good position for Leeds.
So the goalkeeper Horvarth, who is still unbeaten, and we've had 30 minutes here now. This League Cup tie has the chance to put a long ball into the Leeds half. Players from both sides kind of gathered in a square over on the far side of the centre circle. Free kick to Sheffield Wednesday for a push by Longstaff. And so they are able to stay up in that Leeds half. And again, they send the defenders up as it's about 10 yards inside Leeds territory, maybe a bit more. So the blue and white shirts start to move up towards the edge of the Leeds penalty area. First sighting of Barry Bannan for the evening as well, the world's oldest footballer.
Feels like he's been around for years and years and years.
As the header comes in goalwards, and it's an easy catch for goalkeeper Darlow off the head of Otegbayo, but he felt he should have done better, the Wednesday player. Put his hands to his head after directing his header straight at the keeper.
We were talking to Barry Bannan before with me in Parks, and he was saying how good the squad was, even though they're not getting paid, and everything was behind the scenes. He said the squad is still really together, which you can actually see, you know, from this point. They don't know where they've been training sometimes, and there's all sorts going on back there. But he said the spirit is very high still, and I think you can see that so far with the performance which these young kids have put in. You know, in this first 30 minutes, they've really worked their socks off all over this football pitch to make it difficult for Leeds.
Yes, it must be a really difficult position for someone like Barry Bannan, been at the club so long, 400+ appearances. And has opted to stay when many others have decided to leave, as they had the right to do when they weren't getting paid.
Actually signed a new contract as well. So he must think there's something going on in the background. And I think for Yorkshire and all the clubs around, I know there's the rivalry, but I think all Leeds fans and Leeds players tonight would have wanted a full house here. Let's get that atmosphere being electric on these local derbies.
Bornauw to Byram in the Wednesday half, up to the figure of Nmecha. Nmecha almost on the byline. He's caught in the challenge once and then twice, and third time is a foul. So as hard as Cole McGhee worked there to close down Nmecha, having had 2 bites at him, the third one brings Leeds a free kick in a position of some promise, just in from the near side touchline, very much in range of the penalty area.
Yeah, it's a good position to be in. It's you can whip this in over the penalty spot. You know, we've got plenty of height in this team now, you know, to what we've had before. Aaronson's over it. You know, it's all about the delivery.
One-man wall for Wednesday. Brendan Aaronson on free kick duty here. There's a line of Leeds players across the edge of the box. As Aaronson, right-footed, dropped it way short. That's a really poor delivery from Brendan Aaronson. They were all waiting at the back, and it didn't get past the first man at the front. And now Sheffield Wednesday pick up possession. You hear the little roar go up as the ball is worked out to Jamal Lowe, and then Lowe gets it in the middle to Fusire, and then out wide to the edge of the penalty area, and a shooting chance, and it's driven in, and it's cleared away by Bijol. And the man who picked it up in that wide position was Siqueira, and it needed defending.
All comes from our free kick. You've got to miss that first man. It was a good position to be in. You know, you've got to miss the front man, and we didn't, and that put pressure on us. You know, the ball broke for them, and you know, Sheffield Wednesday being Sheffield Wednesday tonight, they're full of enthusiasm, and they've got a throw in the corner, as we said before. I think this is what they're looking for set pieces, and this is, you know, could be a dangerous position for them.
It's a long throw, looped into the box, heads go up in there, and then it's dropped on the penalty spot from where Longstaff clears it, but there's only Wednesday players waiting to pick it up as it comes out the box. So the home side maintain possession in the Leeds half before they retreat back into their own territory. In fact, it's going to go all the way back to Horvarth, who delivers it straight into the Leeds half. It's past everybody. The Wednesday players were retreating, the Leeds players were advancing, and Harrison goes back in there to pick it up. 35th minute, 0-0. It's an expensively assembled Leeds United side against a team of youth players of Sheffield Wednesday, by and large. And at the moment, it's the young players who are holding out. And Horvath has a couple of moments, but nothing too much to worry him. Byram, low cross in now. Nmecha with a chance to shoot. Good block on it though. And it just spoons up into the hands of the keeper. And again, it's another easy pick-up then, because of good defending in front of him for Ethan Horvath.
Yeah, absolutely. A good ball from Longstaff, who found the crossfield ball, you know, to Sam. Mixing again another free kick, but to Sam, and then he's drilled it in. A tough one to take on the first touch, but you know, a good first touch, and you know, down to the keeper's right, and he's saved it, no problems whatsoever.
Free kick for Leeds for a foul on Nmecha through the middle. Gruev wanted to take it quickly, but he took it from the wrong place, so the referee makes him do it again. To Longstaff, short, and out wide to the right side, and Byram back into the middle to Bornauw. Square to Bijol, and then Harrison. See, that's that whistle. Down the line it goes for Harrison, trying to get to the byline. Strong challenge on the Leeds man. Is it gone out for a corner kick? No, it's gone for a goal kick. And although it's been spotted in the quadrant by Jack Harrison, he looks up to find out hasn't got the call.
It's a strange one, isn't it, when the defender's going in that way and the ball's gone towards the corner flag. You'd expect it to be, you know, a corner from ours, and I think Jack Harrison's thinking exactly the same, to be honest.
There's a Wednesday player down in some discomfort here, so the medical team has been sent on for the first time this evening to administer treatment. There's a couple of more experienced players on the bench for Sheffield Wednesday, more than a couple, because Liam Palmer's a player who's come up against Leeds plenty of times before. Barry Bannan likewise. Ugbo has been around for a little bit, and Charlie McNeill, who played at the weekend for them in the draw at Wrexham. So they have some strength and experience on the bench, but there's really no comparison between the two groups here.
I don't think Sheffield Wednesday want to play him, will they? Because as you said earlier on, Bryn, they've only got 13, you know, experienced professionals, and they need to keep them all fit as long as possible, because they've got a long, hard season ahead of them. You know, we're only early into the season. They've only got a point already, and you know, they drew against Bolton and beat them in the last round of this. But you know, it's been a tough one so far for them. But I've got to say, this first half, this young crop of kids which they've got out there, because that's what they are. You know, they're all very, very young, and they are working the socks off to make sure that it's a difficult night for Leeds' point of view. You know, and you've got to give them credit. You know, they're up against some big names, and they want to make their own name because they've got a chance of getting into the first team themselves, and that's what they want to do. These young kids don't want to just be sat in the dressing room and you know, waiting. They want to play on a Saturday. They want to play against all the big teams in the Championship and make a name for themselves.
Well, Otegbayo is the man who is still down receiving treatment, and it's actually a more inexperienced side Sheffield Wednesday put out for this one than they put out for their first round against Bolton Wanderers, a game that ended 3-3, and Wednesday went through on penalties, but they had more first-team players in that 11 than they have in this 11, a couple of whom have already got themselves injured. So that's the risk that you run, I guess, if you do play in this competition. But I think they're going to have to maybe look at bringing on a sub here. There's signs that Otegbayo may not be able to carry on as he's limping down the far touchline, and one of their subs has been called back into the dugout area now.
He's putting his shin pads
Yeah,
on. It means that you're coming on, doesn't it? Really, I don't know what's the problem over in that corner. It looks like his leg, is it? His thigh. They're giving it the magic sponge rub down. You see if that works for him.
Always. Ball through the middle. Nmecha will chase it, but it'll go back to Horvarth instead. He just puts it back up in the air towards the halfway line. Lowe's header on. Bijol underneath it for Leeds. Fusire with the ball back into the path of Bijol. Now Darlow on the penalty spot. And Longstaff. The game's gone in a bit of a lull, and that, I guess, is off the back of the injury. Otegbayo's back on now, so they may not need to make that change, but
limping very heavily, isn't he?
He is. Leeds need to pick things up again here now. Keep the momentum going, and then, as I say that, Aaronson and Byram getting the mix up, and Aaronson puts his pass straight into touch for a Sheffield Wednesday throw in. Don't think Otegbayo's carrying on, by the way. He's just dropped to the ground again. He
was limping very heavily when he came back on, wasn't he? I think the young lad, I don't know who's coming on for them, but he was putting his shin pads on, getting ready. A little bit of a chat with the manager as well. You know, he's obviously coming on now to take his place. He'll be very disappointed, but the manager will be disappointed as well, because at the end of the day, he wants to keep this 11 on as long as possible, because he don't want any injuries going forward.
So the change will be made shortly, but they have to administer more treatment to the Wednesday man who's down in the penalty area. So the change, when it is made, we'll see Joe Emery come and join the action. Another one of those from youth team ranks. One thing you do notice immediately is that Otegbayo is a considerably bigger player than Emery, the man who's coming on to replace him. So they are losing some height in there, it would appear. As Otegbayo now limps towards the area behind the goal, so he can depart and the sub can come on.
He's definitely struggling there, isn't he? He's limping very, very heavily. But as you say, the height difference is considerable as well. So, you know, is that another advantage from our point of view? You know, we're quite a big team, aren't we? We've bought a lot of players now who are over 6 foot, you know, so set pieces are always going to be important for any team, you know, to get that breakthrough.
Leeds could do with some corners and free kicks to make that happen, and the ones they've had have been few and far between thus far, and they've not done an awful lot with them. Bornauw back to Darlow. We're in the final 5 minutes of the first half. There's obviously going to be 2 or 3 at least more to be added on for the treatment that we've just seen for Otegbayo, as the ball goes over the top for Nmecha to chase, and defender gets in ahead of him and clips it out. Ernie Weaver, and ball stays in play, and Fusire puts it up over the top. There's a chase on, and there's a stretch for Bijol to get it back onto the chest of Darlow. He lifts it back calmly to Bijol, but Fusire, fair play to him, got forward really quickly then and got in front of Bijol and just nodded the ball into touch.
And that's what's been impressive with them all. The whole of the first half, they have worked their socks off at Sheffield Wednesday to stop us playing. You know, they've allowed us to have the ball a little bit more in front of them. You know, we've got 79% of possession still, you know, in this first half. But the disappointing thing for me is that, as you said earlier on, we've, you know, corners, free kicks, that kind of stuff, the quality's just not been there. We've only had 1 corner so far.
Leeds trying to build something now down the right. Aaronson's pass comes straight back at him. Gets the ball back then, just about keeps it away. The Wednesday players are beginning to dive into the tackles a little bit more now, as Gruev has it, desperate to maintain that level of intensity that they've played at for the first 43 minutes this evening. Ball over the top beyond Byram from Longstaff, easily picked up by the defender, cleared forward, and then won in by Bornauw, but Bornauw's header goes straight down to Fusire. He drills a pass long into the Leeds half, but way ahead of its intended target, George Brown, and Leeds quickly on the front foot with Harrison. Jack Harrison on the halfway line to Gruev. Gruev square to Bornauw, edging forward into the Wednesday half. Down the right to Aaronson. Back it comes to Byram. And back into his own half to Bornauw. Now Bijol. Out to his left to Longstaff. forward to Piroe. Bit of space in front of Piroe down the channel. Comes inside. Wrong ball, but gets their second go at it. So Leeds in the centre circle with Bornauw. Now Longstaff. He goes to Harrison. Bijol. Bijol almost got caught with the ball under his feet there by Jamal Lowe, but he recovered it. Byram, now Aaronson. Turns back. Leeds want to be playing forwards. Gruev, on it goes to Piroe. He gets caught in possession. And it's cleared up towards the halfway line. Gruev goes in battling to try and win it back, but it's carried into touch or rolled into touch on this near side for a Leeds throw in, but taken quickly.
We need that little bit of urgency as well, I think, because we're just spending a little bit too much time on the football. Like, we need to pass it a little bit quicker. 1-2 touch, you know, that creates the space for you a little bit more, especially in the final third. But we just keeping hold of the ball a little bit more. We're looking for that pass all the time instead of it just being natural.
Harrison, in it goes into the penalty area to Okafor, and he's just taken off his toes as he was making good ground towards goal there. So Leeds do have another corner kick here in the final few seconds of the 45 as the board is about to go up. So Harrison it will be to take this corner kick for Leeds, as we have 3 added minutes and we are moving into that now. Movement in the penalty area. Harrison puts it in, it's cleared out as far as Aaronson. Short pass to Okafor, tries his luck with a shot, curls it in. Horvarth pads it down and manages to drop on the ball and keep it away from Piroe, something he didn't manage to do at the weekend when he did exactly the same with a shot in, and Kiefer Moore for Wrexham pounced and put it in, but Horvarth got away with that one. Ball is back with the goalkeeper now, plays it across the penalty area. Leeds trying to press up to keep Sheffield Wednesday penned back. It's played forwards towards the head of Bornauw, headed down. Aaronson trying to get in there. Piroe also, but neither successful. So it's cleared out of play in the Leeds half, and Wednesday are within 2 minutes of getting to half-time all square here.
Yeah, and they've deservedly been half-time at 0-0, I think. You know, we've created a few more chances. You know, we've had a couple of chances where the keeper's made, you know, I would say very easy saves. We've not really tested them on the back four. As I said before, Bryn, I think we need to play the football a little bit quicker. I think that's what the manager will be saying. Sometimes the quality into people's not quite there. We talked about it beforehand. It's all about what we do and how we, you know, come to this game.
Well, Sheffield Wednesday are shaping through the middle, and they've got themselves a free kick in a good position, because Bijol initially with a poor pass out and then got caught the wrong side of his man when the ball came back in, and he brought Lowe down. And so Sheffield Wednesday, in the closing stages of this first period, have a free kick which is, what, 28 yards out maybe? And the Leeds wall is going to be on the edge of the penalty area, slightly inside the box. So a last chance at the end of the first half for Sheffield Wednesday to do something spectacular. Quite clearly, Jamal Lowe is going to be the man who's going to take the free kick for them. He's going to have a go at goal, no question about that. Leeds have put a wall up and the sleeper behind the wall as well, which is Okafor. And Lowe waits the signal from the referee here to have a go at this Leeds goal. Darlow on the goal line. Jamal Lowe curls it in, and it's just wide. Darlow was at full stretch. I think he knew it was going wide. You heard the ooze from the home supporters. Not a bad effort from Jamal Lowe. Good piece on it. And poor ball out from Leeds, and again concede possession way too easily. Have to go and win it back, and then lose it quickly again. And there's only one manager who's going to be happy at half-time here, and it's not going to be Daniel Farke, because Wednesday are attacking now. Cross in, bounces low and up into the hands of Darlow. So you'd have to say it was the home team who finished that half on top. And whilst Leeds have enjoyed huge swathes of possession, haven't created a great deal, in all honesty, and Horvarth has been well protected in the moments when Leeds have got beyond. He's been able to deal with it. The second half will be underway shortly, with Leeds taking the kick-off with Nmecha. And now here's Harrison. Okafor on the halfway line. Elects to go back into the middle to Bijol. Bornauw then picks up the ball and it's turned wide to the right side. Byram quickly pressed, so he goes back and again ends up back with the goalkeeper on the edge of the penalty area. And then it comes out for Longstaff. And Longstaff with a short pass to Bijol and back again to Sean Longstaff. So a lot of runners setting off in the first half. They never hit them. Now they do hit Piroe, but Piroe's flick is not into the path of Nmecha. And slightly wayward back pass, but Horvarth, the goalkeeper, slides along the turf and just grabs the ball into his body and then rolls it out short underarm to the edge of the penalty area, from where it's kicked straight down the middle. Bornauw underneath it, Gruev, and then flicked back to Darlow. So Darlow out to Harrison down this left side, playing from the left back position in this game for Leeds. Remember, on the bench in this second half potentially is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Anton Stach is there as well. Gabriel Goodmanson, and then the players that we were mentioning who the manager knows all about already, the likes of Bogle, James, Rodon, Gnonto. And their replacements completed by Harry Gray. Bornauw to Gruev. And now Bijol. Over the top it goes for Harrison to chase down the left side of the penalty area. Gets a corner kick for Leeds as he tries to put it in first time. He does make contact with the ball. Siqueira came across and diverted it behind for Leeds' first corner of the second half. And I think it's the third corner kick of the game.
And that was a bit better, Bryn, in terms of just penetrating in behind. Sheffield Wednesday have just faced a lot of possession in front of them. It's important to stretch that play, and Jack Harrison from that left back position has forced his corner.
And Harrison it is who will take the corner for Leeds United. And just gives his teammates a signal. There's movement in the penalty area as he curls the ball in now. Good shape on that as it comes in goalwards. It's cleared up in the air. Horvarth flaps at it to clear it. And then it's not a proper clearance after that either. Aaronson tries to batter it back into the box. And the Wednesday head clears it into some safety. And actually better than that, Wednesday now advance quickly over the halfway line as the ball is carried forward by George Brown up to the edge of the penalty area and Fusire. Lowe rather, back to Brown again. He tries the shot and Darlow, as the shot took a deflection, there wasn't much pace on it, but he was at full stretch as he made the save. And now he rolls it out underarm. So Sheffield Wednesday reminding Leeds that they are a threat on the counter-attack potentially.
Yeah, and they're showing that hunger yet again, fighting for every second and third ball to clear it from a corner kick. And George Brown, who's impressed in the first half and start the second half, showing that fight, that desire. And we just need to match that work rate. That's any game of football.
As Piroe tries to play one through for Nmecha, but it's intercepted. And then Longstaff with a frustrating foul to give the initiative back to Sheffield Wednesday. Kind of an unnecessary push on the man in front of him. And the ball goes back to Horvath. And he clears over the halfway line. Harrison header, Piroe flicks on, but Leeds have to win the ball back again with Gruev into space to his right-hand side to Byram. Back he comes to Bornauw. Now Gruev through the middle. Nmecha, Longstaff turns it wide to Harrison. Ahead of him is Okafor. Okafor comes in field. Still got the ball. Noah Okafor, and again still riding the challenges, and eventually he's fouled. Had to draw a foul after, what did he go through, 5 tackles there? Didn't make much ground, but now Leeds do have an opportunity with this free kick. And it's kind of in shooting range. It would take something pretty spectacular, but Harrison maybe fancies this. Gruev is there as well.
We've seen from this angle before with Gruev catching the goalkeeper out in a particular playoff game. Similar kind of angle, probably a bit closer than that Norwich game, but 3 bodies are around the ball.
Aaronson joins the trio now. And so the 3 men step away from the ball. Smart money possibly on Brendan Aaronson with an in-swinger here. As Harrison has retreated. Yeah, Harrison's out the picture. So Gruev and Aaronson are over. It's one or the other. Referee gives the signal now. And Gruev steps up, drives it in low, and puts it through the wall. But well wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post.
Yeah, poor effort from Gruev. He's got better quality in that left foot. Thought he was going to try and give the goalkeeper a bit of the eyes, maybe stand it up towards the back post. But in that build-up play leading to the free kick, he said something that I don't think you said in the first 45, Brennan, playing through the middle. We need to do that more, penetrate the lines. As we said, Sheffield Wednesday as a formation, as a system, far too easy for him in that first period.
Bijol with a looping header from the back for Leeds. Ball is bouncing around on the halfway line, heads either side of it. Picked up by Lowe. Jamal Lowe on his way down the right side. Hustled out of it, but wins Sheffield Wednesday a throw in. And it's almost level with the edge of the Leeds penalty area, and they've got the capability, as we saw in the first half, to put a long throw into the box. Not sure this one's going to go in long. And the man with the ball in his hands currently is Siqueira. Back it comes to Fusire, and then back to the halfway, in fact back into his own half to Weaver. Given away down the right side to Byram. Byram moves into space in the middle. Checks back to Gruev. Just that little frustration from the Leeds fans there, who wanted to see forward momentum rather than going back and starting again. Leeds are the side you really feel chasing the goal here. Sheffield Wednesday will be on an open-top bus tour if they get to the end of this and it's still all square.
We've had plenty of them recently, Bryn, haven't we? We don't want to see another one on the other side.
Not for the opposition. Aaronson into Gruev. And Longstaff out to Okafor. Infield to Nmecha. He puts a ball, stabbed it out wide. Good ball into space on the edge of the box, and Byram just gets it back. He's caught Sam Byram. So Piroe, who is shaping to do something, is having to stop because Leeds have a free kick again. It's exactly the same position, basically a bit on the other side of the penalty area, and a little bit closer maybe.
Yeah, a little bit towards the goal, towards middle of the pitch from the position of this free kick. But Jack Harrison from the left back position, his run's already going in behind. This time Byram on the right hand side. Must be a message from half time. If you are making them runs forward, it's good keeping your width, but can you threaten the back five of Sheffield Wednesday, especially with that crossfield pass?
So this time it's Piroe and Harrison who are chatting over the ball, but it looks like it's Piroe who's going to take it. Again, Aaronson's involved, hands on hips. Haven't seen anybody from Leeds who can put a really kind of dangerous free kick under the crossbar, so now would be a good time, Piroe, to demonstrate that ability perhaps. Referee gives a signal. Piroe curls it in, curls it wide. Well, that wasn't far off, but goalkeeper at full stretch possibly was confident that that was going beyond the far post.
Yeah, it was the goalkeeper's side, and I think you're right in the end. Bring the goalkeeper, even though he dived, always confident it was going to go wide of that post on the right-hand side.
So that's the best moment of the second half so far for Leeds, as we've moving now. We've watched the scoreboard clock away to our left-hand side here that still reads 0-0, and now we're into the 55th minute. Forward it goes from Horvarth. Longstaff wins the header and then wins it on the ground, just stabs it forward for Nmecha to chase, but he's not getting there. Well, the goalkeeper just gives it straight to Piroe. Piroe through the middle, tucks it wide to Aaronson. Aaronson to shoot. Great block in front of Brendan. Ball thrown down the line, flicked up, chance to move the ball forward for the home team here. And the movement down the right-hand side sees a ball played into the penalty area. Shot comes in from the edge of the box. Darlow at full stretch pushes it away, comes back in towards him, and it's gone in. It's gone under his body, and it's gone in. And Sheffield Wednesday have caused a real shock here, because it is Ugbo, the man who's just come on, who smuggles that one home, and it's Leeds United who are behind the side from the Championship. I don't actually want to commentate on this anymore. It's connected. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, 1,000 apologies. We've had technical issues at this end, which means the line has dropped out. And as you may already be gathering from various other sources, we're not the only ones having issues here, because Leeds United have just gone behind in this cup tie. As initially it looked like Darlow had made a good save, but when the ball came back in again, it slipped out of his grasp and just rolled just over the goal line. And the home supporters have been hugely enthused by the fact that this Sheffield Wednesday side of youth players is leading this expensively assembled Leeds United squad that has been bolstered in the time that we've been off air with the arrival of Willie Gnonto and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's playing up front now. And now here's Okafor. Leeds facing a really embarrassing defeat here. If they can't get something back in the next 25 minutes at Hillsborough, playing towards the Leeds fans who look on in some disbelief, I'm sure, behind the goal. Leeds have a corner kick. Harrison has come to the near side to take it, as the height in that penalty area all belongs to the Leeds United players. Harrison, in it comes out for Gnonto. His half volley though is, as you can hear from the reaction of the home supporters, well wide. Well
Indeed, Bryn, because it's been coming, not in terms of efforts on goal, but Sheffield Wednesday almost deserve it in terms of getting to 65, 66 minutes as we're approaching on the clock, and the frustrated Leeds, but been comfortable at the same time in terms of not facing a bombardment of shots on target. And that's the most disappointing thing, because we've got all the experience and the quality on the pitch, but it's almost the mentality turning up tonight. Pretty much everyone who's been in the press box and sat around us here, Bryn, from our position, everyone expected Leeds just to rock up, win very comfortably tonight. But the players seem to have that mentality and gone into the game, and you don't win games of football. It doesn't matter whether you're playing Newcastle United 5:30 on Saturday in the Premier League, or you're playing a really youthful, inexperienced Sheffield Wednesday outfit. You have to apply yourself properly every single game, and Sheffield Wednesday have been better in that department than we have so far.
It's exactly what you guys were talking about before the kickoff. It was down to the players, the Leeds players, to really set themselves their own targets and make sure they hit their standards from this game this evening. And it has to be said that thus far they've been far from managing to do that. And now, as a result, they've got it all to do to just get level in this game, because in all honesty, there have been some better moments in the second half for Leeds United. There's been a bit more urgency about Leeds United, but still Horvarth has had very little to do. Now Leeds through the middle. Piroe Plays it into the shot from Okafor, cleared out by the goalkeeper, comes out for Gnonto, saved again by Horvarth, brilliantly on 2 occasions. Well, now he's had something to do, and he's done it really, really well. Okafor with the first shot, that's a poor cross, it's cleared away. As far as Bijol, to his right to Byram, now Gnonto. Gnonto taking on the fullback, puts his cross into the middle. Spooned up in the air, comes out for Harrison, edge of the box with Okafor. Okafor's pass is diverted away from its intended recipient. So Leeds start again with Gruev to Bornauw. And now Gnonto. Byram goes on the overlap and he gets the ball, he's in space. Byram puts his cross in the middle. Okafor, shot is blocked. Comes back out for Gruev. And then back it goes, that's a poor ball. Gnonto will pick it up far side of the penalty area though. And then it's cleared away. And Bornauw and Bijol exchange passes in the centre circle. And then Byram caught in possession, but actually is too strong for his opponent and gets the ball back and can actually turn and move forward for Leeds. Down the line it goes to Gnonto. Gnonto let it run across his body and it goes out off him for a Wednesday throw.
When it was 0-0, Bryn, Sheffield Wednesday, you're still putting the bodies on the line for everything, but that goal's just added that extra urge and desire into the play. Yeah, we've seen a reaction from the Leeds team. First time all game, that little pass through the lines, through the midfield. Gets Okafor that effort. I actually thought he could have taken an extra touch, taken it towards goal, opted for that early strike. The goalkeeper made a good double save. We expect more bombardment from Leeds United now.
Harrison out to Okafor, left side, pushing up and then stops. Goes wide, far side to Byram. Helps it on to Gnonto down the right side of the penalty area. Comes inside now, into the box, dances through, shot is blocked. Again, Wednesday showing a desire to throw themselves in the way of anything that's going goalwards. They have something to hang on to now with 20 minutes of this League Cup tie remaining here at Hillsborough, and what would be a major shock on the cards. Good challenge as Okafor tries to get forward. Sliding interception is made by Siqueira, and now 2 more changes for Leeds United, and Gruev is off and Stach is on and Bogle is on and Byram is off. Sam Byram will go and pass the armband on, and it's Joel Piroe who's the recipient of it, and so Piroe is now captain as Bogle appears, the former Sheffield United man, hence the boos from the Wednesday supporters. Harrison throw back to Stach. And now Bijol and Bornauw. Out wide it goes to Bogle. Back to Bornauw. Wednesday can tend to defend now deep in their own half, knowing that Leeds have found extremely difficult to break through. Stach sweeps his ball out to Bogle. Tackled, but rides 1 and 2 challenges and gets it short to Piroe. Piroe goes past 1 challenge, then he's dragged back. Leeds will have a free kick 6-7 yards outside the penalty area, pretty central. There's a card coming out as well. First yellow of the night.
Yeah, cynical challenge. Good feet by Piroe. As you mentioned, Bryn, he's got the captain's armband on now, and 3 players over the ball, central position. These are the areas on the training ground you practice your free kicks from this sort of distance.
So the yellow card was shown to Rio Shipston. Now Leeds have an opportunity to try and bring themselves level with this free kick as the clock ticks up towards the 73rd minute. Harrison, hands on hips. Stach is in close proximity also. The referee finally is happy. Harrison drives it straight into the wall. Comes back to Jack Harrison. Leeds player still in the box. Can't get his cross in. Get a second chance though. Into the edge of the penalty area. Plays out for Gnonto. Gnonto dribbles one way then the other. Then whips it, but he's put too much on it. It's come all the way to this near side touchline to Okafor. Just keeps it in play to Longstaff. And Longstaff, back it goes into the middle to Stach. And then to his right to Bogle. And then Gnonto. Gnonto inside of his man, but Bogle's not getting there. But Gnonto will get a free kick as he released the ball. He was caught. Another chance for Leeds to put a ball into the penalty area. And
you have to say, since Willie Gnonto's come onto the pitch, Bryn, he's brought that spark which has been missing for all of the game from a Leeds point of view. He's attacking his full-back, he's driving in field, getting his shots away, wins a free kick in a dangerous position yet again.
Gnonto back on his feet, but he limps away from that late challenge. Harrison again is over the ball, but this one's too far out for a shot. It's going to have to be a cross. Of course, there's height in there to aim at, so it's got to be the right ball. Calvert-Lewin stands in the middle of the crowd. As again, referee delays, now gives the signal. Harrison curls the ball into the far post. The goalkeeper's got out and he's pushed it up in the air, and he's then held on to it the second time we're asking. Quite unconventional that from Horvarth. Pushed it up in the air, dropped behind him, but he was the one who got there first to grab at it and then kick it long to put Leeds under pressure with his kick out. Longstaff behind it and just manages to smuggle it out under pressure for a Wednesday throw by the Leeds corner flag.
Yeah, I don't think any of that is in the goalkeeping manual that they teach on the goalkeeping courses, but some kick in the end, something out of nothing, has Longstaff scrambling back towards his own goal. Just has to give the throw-in away in the end.
And it's a walk up to take the throw-in. It won't be anything other than that from Sheffield Wednesday now. So it's Siqueira who's going to possibly deliver this one in long to the Leeds penalty area. In it goes, hurled in now, headed away by Bijol. Comes back out for a ball down the right side for Siqueira, but Harrison read it, clears it into touch. Wednesday find themselves with another throw-in high up in the Leeds half.
And this is where they want the ball now, Bryn, don't they? All eyes to our left-hand side, the big scoreboard. 15 left of normal time.
And Sheffield Wednesday know that they are now in sight of a famous victory, famous primarily because of the composition of the team that they've fielded for this game this evening. As the ball goes into the penalty area, cleared out by Okafor, but Wednesday have it on the edge of the box and try and break through the lines. Great challenge, well timed in the penalty area, and Leeds have a free kick because it was Bijol who stretched out to stop the forward run. It was a necessary interception and he's got a whack for his troubles. Leeds take a quick short free kick. They don't make any forward ground yet. Now it's with Harrison. Bijol still limping after that challenge. Comes back for Bijol from Harrison. When he looked forward and he's frustrated, couldn't see anything. And it's not where Leeds want to be going. It's not where Leeds need to be going.
And yet again, Sheffield Wednesday are just so comfortable. They're the passers in behind.
Ball over the top. Now picks out Piroe in the penalty area. Crosses beyond Calvert-Lewin. And it was a better ball into Piroe. It wasn't the cross required from Calvert-Lewin's perspective. Harrison down the left for Leeds, trying to get away from his marker. Ball comes off the defender, who is possibly, yeah, it's got to be cramp, hasn't it, there. Stretches his leg out as Leeds have a corner kick here. And they are going to do something different with the corner. Stach is going to come and take it instead. Wednesday man is still down. Now he's back up and he's running into the penalty area. So the game can resume. Taken short to Harrison by Stach. Comes off Harrison. Harrison curls his cross into the middle. Bornauw can't get there. And neither could Calvert-Lewin. Well, he did get contact, but he couldn't turn it on target, and he goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, that's the service. Calvert-Lewin has made a career out of balls into the box. I just thought he saw the ball a little bit late, turned his body almost in the half position, thinking he probably wasn't going to get it. So the header was always going to go wide, but if you've got to get the service into the box, that's what Calvert-Lewin wants.
So the goal kick will be taken by Horvarth, and he will take his time. his team are closing in. Ball up into the Leeds half. Heads up from Bijol. Calvert-Lewin can't get there. Piroe nods it down but can't find a teammate. Comes down for Bogle. Bogle to Harrison. Down on the touchline, Henrik Pedersen, all animation. Daniel Farke, arms crossed, looking unhappy as he patrols backward and forward, and then watches as the ball goes back from Harrison to Bijol. There's a point at which Leeds can't really afford to be patient, perhaps, in the approach. Challenge in the midfield on Longstaff, and he's called out for a handball there. Longstaff went down, felt he was fouled, but the referee saw it differently, and it's a Sheffield Wednesday free kick, and they're going to bring another experienced player on now. Liam Palmer is going to come on for the home team, just to help out in the closing stages. Another player who's played 400 plus games for this club. Horvarth, the goalkeeper, with the ball out to this near side touchline. Heads up and it's gone out. It's going to be a Leeds throw in, midway inside the Leeds half.
We've not been at the races at all, we know that, Bryn, but full credit to this young team, because what you see with an experienced team up and down the country is that they'll give their all for so long and then tiredness kicks in, but to be mentally switched on, it's been so impressive from this young outfit.
Here's Bogle going, trying to thread it through the middle. Calvert-Lewin picks it up and gives it to Piroe on the edge of the area. Piroe trying to find space to do something with the ball, gives it to Harrison. Harrison tries a shot, but it was nowhere near goal. And then Leeds lose possession, but it's a handball in the middle of the park, and so it's a Leeds free kick. And they take it very quickly to Bogle, and then Bogle on to Gnonto. Gnonto plays it, tries to play it through the gap, but it's well intercepted, well read that, and maybe it was telegraphed because Wednesday come away with it. And then Leeds have to win it back with Bijol, and then it's ferried all the way back to the goalkeeper, Darlow. Darlow out to Harrison. We have 10 minutes remaining here, and Leeds trail Sheffield Wednesday by a goal to nil. Longstaff. And now Stach to his right to Bogle. Bogle comes inside the fullback into the edge of the penalty area, still going into the box now. Bogle stumbling as he goes, gets it into the feet of Gnonto, but Gnonto's back to goal, back to Bogle. Bogle comes inside, but he's tackled successfully. It breaks back for Gnonto. Gnonto keeps it to Bogle, shoots!
Yes!
Bogle equalises! And that is some quality play between Gnonto and Bogle, and they work their way through the Sheffield Wednesday ranks. And finally Leeds have made a breakthrough, and it's the two substitutes who fashioned it down that right side for 1-1.
It looked for one moment, Bryn, that the chance had gone, because Bogle initially worked it so well to get inside the penalty area. Great close control. Then it was Gnonto's turn, but let's be honest, it's no surprise Gnonto's heavily involved. Alongside the substitute Bogle, and great finish into the far corner. Breathes life back into that travelling fans behind the goal. Big 10 minutes coming up.
And more Wednesday changes as Palmer is now on, Liam Palmer that is. And Barry Bannan is going to come on as well for Sheffield Wednesday here. So there is nobody more experienced on this pitch than Barry Bannan. And he is being brought on because still, remember, Wednesday will look on the opportunity to go through on penalties from this tie as a huge achievement. So there's still an awful lot for them to get out of this game. For Leeds, there's still an awful lot of work to be done in the closing 8.5 minutes plus whatever is to be added on, which I suspect isn't going to be a great deal. Bornauw with a header from the back. Now Leeds pick it up halfway line. Piroe, it's not a great ball from Joel Piroe. He's put way too much on it over the top, and it just runs straight through to Horvarth. He picks the ball up as Calvert-Lewin closed him down, and then takes his time in clearing the ball up into the Leeds half. And Darlow's come all the way. It's another huge kick from the keeper. Darlow throws it out over arm to Bogle. Leeds scorer crosses the halfway line now. Bogle has Gnonto ahead of him. This time he has to go back though. Leeds come further back to Bornauw and Bijol. Bijol to Harrison left side. Harrison, nothing doing in front of him, so goes back into his own half as Leeds try and press and probe. Stack out to Bogle. To the halfway line and Bornauw to Bijol. Harrison. Leeds still midway inside the Wednesday half. Ball over the top. Calvert-Lewin's onside in the penalty area. Chests it down, puts it into the middle. Breaks out as far as Bogle. Bogle lined up the shot. Had time to get his head right, but got his feet wrong, and it sailed over the crossbar.
Just on the moment when Leeds making yet another sub-in. Dan James replacing Okafor, and from Bogle's effort, that's probably more of a finish associated with a full-back. Well, I can relate to that kind of finish, not a problem at all. But no, Dan James has gone out onto the right, Gnonto out onto this left. That's how we've seen him in the league so far.
So Wednesday have 6.5 minutes plus whatever to hang on here. Leeds have that time to seek a second goal. Bijol. Ball breaks for Calvert-Lewin, halfway line. Bogle's not getting there though, and Wednesday it is who pick it up down the left-hand side with Thornston. Fans are doing their bit behind the goal. Played in field towards the edge of the area. It's a loose ball and Bijol is there to defend. Slightly hesitant, and now he's played himself into a bit of trouble, so he's going to just go long with the clearance. Comes straight back at Leeds. Longstaff heads it into the path of Harrison, who's got a bit of space to run into now. Plays it on to Gnonto down this side, near side. Gnonto looks ahead of him, and then Stach, and now Longstaff. Longstaff into Piroe, turns back again. Only Stach available, so gets the ball. Goes square to Bornauw. Out to his right to Bogle with James just ahead of him. Gets the ball now, Dan James, for his first touches. Into the edge of the penalty area. Curls across in. Cleared away before Calvert-Lewin could get there. And then Leeds win it back on the edge of the box. Harrison, though, couldn't keep hold of the ball. And Wednesday relieved with Bannan in possession. Rarely wastes a pass, Barry Bannan. Ball played forward into the Leeds half. Harrison is back there now defending. 5 minutes remaining plus added time here at Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Leeds United 1. And the referee has blown the whistle because there's a Sheffield Wednesday player down on his back in his own half. And again, I think it's cramp, isn't it?
Looks that way. I was wondering when some of these Sheffield Wednesday players would be going down with a cramp, but from a Leeds' perspective, to still be shaking their heads how they're finding themselves in this position with less than 5 minutes of normal time remaining. Scores locked at 1-1, but it's important, we've just got to move the ball quick. How we've got a bit of joy with the subs coming on is just being positive, being proactive with the movement, the passing, being direct with the ball at the feet. By doing that, the young players mentally will be exhausted, never mind physically as well. You expect to create some more chances in the dying moments, and then it's over to the players with that experience, especially the new number 9 on his back, Calvert-Lewin. They'll just be hoping for that chance to get off the mark in front of that away end.
So Wednesday are down to 10 for the time being because their injured player has gone off on the far side and is not yet ready to come back on. So when the game resumes, there will be a man light, and it does resume now with Harrison. Can Leeds take advantage of this opportunity of having more men on the park? Not just the more men, it's the surely greater quality as James comes in field now as well. Trying to get to the edge of the area. He's fouled Dan James on his way towards the box, so Leeds have a free kick again. It's in a good position, but we've said that on how many previous occasions this evening.
Yeah, we've had plenty of practice tonight from this area.
Sheffield Wednesday back with the full quota now, although the man who's back on doesn't look entirely happy. But Leeds have this free kick, which is 10 yards outside the penalty area. A little less than that actually, 8. And Stach is over the ball. Players at the far side of the area. Inside the final 3 minutes. As the referee gives the signal. Curled in by Stach towards the far post. Headed back into the middle. Headed up in the end. It'll be whacked clear. Absolutely it is from Liam Palmer. Just wellies it as far forward as he can. Bogle has to win the header. Does win the header down to Piroe. Piroe back into his own half to Stach. Now short pass to Gnonto on the centre spot. Willie Gnonto diverts it to his left to Longstaff. Longstaff walks it forward and then goes square to Stach. Stach back to Bijol. Leeds are midway inside the Wednesday half. There's no momentum to the move here at the moment. It's pretty static as they go wide now to try and provide that extra momentum with Dan James taking his man on. James by the corner flag, checks back, gets it into Bogle. Bogle tries to turn away from his marker. Still on the ball, Jayden Bogle still manages to work it to Stach, and now Bornauw to Dan James just outside the area. Bogle plays it back into James. James trying to put it up into the middle, curls his cross in, drops on the top of the net, and Calvert-Lewin was waiting, but it never arrived with him. 7,801 here for the game this evening, and you have to say it's probably the majority of those, at least half the crowd anyways, from Leeds. But they're watching on from behind the goal now, and they're seeing the clock tick down into the final minute of the 90, and the scoreboard reads 1-1. So what have Leeds got left here? Maybe 5 minutes of added time? I would say no more than that, or maybe not even quite that much. As the goalkeeper plays a goal kick over the halfway line. Bijol, strong header. Cleared away from Calvert-Lewin. Longstaff tries to put a leg in. Cleared back into the Leeds half though. And it's picked up by Bornauw. And forward it goes to Stach. Long ball over the top. Is Gnonto onside? He is. Doesn't get the ball. Harrison does instead. Comes out off Palmer for a Leeds United throw in. Last 20 seconds of the 90. Stach. Right foot cross out to the far side of the area for James, all the way on the other side. He's got to control before he plays it down for Bogle. Bogle tries to get it back, does get it back to James, turns and runs at the box. He's dragged back there, Dan James, and that's got to be a yellow card. It is a yellow card, as the board should be going up now, and it says there are 5 added minutes. Leeds have a free kick just outside the Wednesday penalty area, but they've had an absolute welter of these in the last 20 minutes and haven't really made any of them count. Stach has to try and do something with this one now. Again, it's going to be a cross into the box. Anton Stach gives his teammates a signal, and there's all sorts of pushing and shoving in the area. Stach delivers it in low this time, and it's pulled wide, right in front of goal by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The ball broke into his path, and he couldn't just roll it in, and it went past the post, and he sank to his knees in frustration.
Oh, he has to score. Just seeing a replay on the screen in front of us, Bryn. It's a wicked ball in that danger zone. The keeper can't get there. The defenders from Sheffield Wednesday can't. Has to find back of the net. The only saving grace from his point of view is come from a lot of bodies. It's come quick at him, but they expect him to find that bottom corner.
Ball is back with the goalkeeper. One of the added minutes is now passed. Leeds have a throw in, halfway line. And it's going to be Jack Harrison who goes back to Bijol. And now it's going to be Bornauw. Bornauw to his right to Bogle. Bogle plays it into Dan James. That's a good ball. James tries to get it in the middle. Doesn't quite break, but Longstaff wins it in the D for Leeds. Now Harrison. Harrison into the penalty area, but he's run down a cul-de-sac, so he comes out for Gnonto. Gnonto tried to do too much, and he's given the possession away. So it's a Longstaff who has to slide in to win it back for Leeds. Gnonto again on the ball now. 2 of the added 5 passed. Ball with Longstaff. Across the middle it goes to Bornauw. Less than 3 minutes for Leeds to find another one. James over the top. Bogle's not going to get to this ball though. Bannan will see it out, and he does. And it's exactly what Sheffield Wednesday want. It's a goal kick. Goalkeeper takes his time as he brings it from the far side of the goal to the near side. 2.5 minutes remaining here. Leeds are so close now to having to try and navigate their way through a penalty shootout. Long ball forwards. Bijol wins his header, as he has so often tonight. Gnonto with a high boot is penalised. And so that's a Wednesday free kick, and that's more frustration because we've only got 2 minutes remaining and the ball is going to be pumped up into the Leeds half now.
And can you imagine the Sheffield Wednesday players arriving to this ground a couple of hours before kick-off, and if you offered them the chance that 93 minutes on the clock, 5 minutes added on, so you've got 2 left to play and you're 1-1, 2 minutes away from a penalty shootout, they'd just snap your hand off for that, Bryn.
Harrison is under a bit of pressure, so he needs Bijol's assistance. Now he has it back again. And we have 1.5 minutes remaining here, so Leeds don't have a lot of time to work out any kind of patient approach play here. They go over the top. Harrison looking for the run of Gnonto, who's on the edge of the penalty area. First time ball in! Calvert-Lewin arrives, and the goalkeeper makes a great block. And Wednesday keep it out. Leeds have the ball back again. And it's with Longstaff. And it's Harrison. Gnonto waits wide, but it comes short. Longstaff in the middle, laid off to Piroe. Piroe trying to work his way through, didn't find a teammate. It's whacked forward, and we're inside the final minute now. And that was such a great chance for Leeds. Squandered. So they have to try once more down the right side with Bogle. Puts it into the area to Dan James. James leaves it in the middle, and the goalkeeper spilt it, and Calvert-Lewin couldn't get to it. He'd already moved forwards, and then Harrison, poor touch, and that's gone out of play, and that will be all Wednesday need to make sure that they get the penalty shootout here. Leeds have had 2 fantastic chances in this last minute.
And Calvert-Lewin could easily be having a match ball. Really could have. The first save out of the 2 from the goalkeeper, it's superb, it really is. It just spreads himself. Calvert-Lewin will be backing himself to find back of the net. All the Leeds fans behind the goal would expect him to do that as well, but he's very close to the goalkeeper, gets a touch onto it. Like I said, the Sheffield Wednesday stopper just spreads himself so well. And then moments later, the ball nearly falls to Calvert-Lewin again to find back of the net, but it's just been one of those evenings, Bryn.
So we're inside, or we're past the added 5 as Darlow plays a long ball forward. Whistles from the home supporters. Gnonto can't get away from Palmer down this near side. The ball is out of play for a Wednesday throw-in, and there won't be too much more time to be added on now. A little bit of time wasting around that last throw-in, and that's maybe been taken into account, but I think the whistle will be going pretty soon as the extra seconds tick by here. Towards a 6th added minute. Down the line it goes, and there it is, full time at Hillsborough, and the roar is from the home supporters because Sheffield Wednesday fielded a virtual youth team here against a team full of Leeds' expensive summer signings, and that youth team has managed to hang on to a famous 1-1 draw, and now has the chance still to progress through a penalty shootout.
I think the scenes you're seeing here, if you just woke up or just turned to the game, you'd be thinking that Sheffield Wednesday have actually won and gone through to the next round. That's how big of a statement and big of a victory they're seeing, just taking it to penalties, and for ourselves allowing it to get to this situation. But that's the most disappointing aspect and element. I just think tonight shows any game of football. We play football with our friends on a weekend, midweek, 5-a-side, Sunday league level, throughout the non-league and into the pro game, that if you don't apply yourselves correctly at every single moment, and that's by doing the basics well, winning the first ball, winning the second, doing the hard yards, doing all the horrible stuff off the ball, but then your quality on the pitch, playing forward, having an energy with and without the ball. So we've only got ourselves to blame that it's gone to penalties. We've got to regroup. They're in the They're in the huddle there, the boss is speaking to them. They'll know who's taking the penalties. But as we know, it's a lottery.
So the man who's been signed as the emergency goalkeeper, Ethan Horvarth, for Sheffield Wednesday, is the man who has the chance to paint himself the hero now. And he's no slouch in terms of goalkeeping. You saw that with a couple of saves at the end there. 10 caps for the United States. And it is for Sheffield Wednesday who has the chance to bring himself further glory. For Leeds United, there's just the task of getting through now.
It's going to be interesting to see which end the penalties will be taken. It's either going to be an empty stand or a full stand.
Surely it has to be in front of a full stand. It'll look ridiculous at the other end.
Well, you know the rules, don't you, Brendan? Do the coin toss for which end, and then the second coin toss for who's going to go first or second.
So Barry Bannan goes in to meet the ref to have that conversation. And now Leeds have sent Joel Piroe to join. And coin toss in these shootouts can be all important. So it's going to be down the empty end. We've just seen that indicated by Barry Bannan. And now the referee tosses the coin again. And it's going to be Sheffield Wednesday, I think, who get to take the first penalty at the empty end here in front of the Hillsborough Kop.
And from their perspective, they couldn't ask for much more now, so they've got the end they wanted, and always feel going first gives you that slight advantage. Of course, you've got to find back of the net, but Darlow, you've seen plenty of him in a Wales shirt. Many penalty saves from him in a Wales shirt, Bryn, off the top of your head.
I think I have seen a Darlow save. I'm trying to remember. Did he save one against Turkey? I think I might have done. Anyway, we need to see what he's got. The two international goalkeepers for the shootout, so both with a similar number of caps. So we'll see which one of these two, if either, provides the big moment. Barry Bannan inevitably steps forward for Sheffield Wednesday. Who else would they send up to take the first penalty in a shootout but the man with all the experience and the man who's been in these kinds of situations so many times before. Bannan, 35 years old now. Probably wasn't expecting to have any part in this game this evening, but now he could have a very important part from a Wednesday perspective as he spots the ball up far end from all the Leeds United fans. Darlow tries to make himself big on the line. Bannan steps up for Sheffield Wednesday. He takes a moment, actually, hands on hips, and Bannan shoots up, as you kind of expected he would do, low and hard into the bottom corner.
That's his game, isn't it, Bryn? He's been doing it for 15, 20 years. Technique, cool, calm, under pressure.
Piroe will come forward for Leeds United to take the first penalty kick for the Premier League side. Joel Piroe takes a walk back towards the edge of the penalty area. Boos from the home supporters as Piroe steps up, and it's saved by the goalkeeper. Advantage Sheffield Wednesday right from the start of the penalty shootout. Piroe's shot was close to the keeper, he went the right way and he batted it away.
I know it's part of his routine, Piroe's, but I just don't like the slow walk up and casual approach to the ball. Always feel that the goalkeeper's in command and control from that situation, and nice height to the goalkeeper's left.
So now Sheffield Wednesday have the chance to extend their advantage in the shootout, and Ugbo, the goal scorer, is the man delegated with their second penalty kick. So another more experienced practitioner. Ugbo steps up now and scores. Darlow goes the wrong way, and Sheffield Wednesday are closing in here as Calvert-Lewin is sent forward for Leeds United to try and make the first mark in this penalty shootout.
Well, it's simple, isn't it, Bryn? Has to find back of the net. He's got all the experience in the world, and he's got to dive into that right now and come up with a big penalty for his team.
Calvert-Lewin, who had the opportunities to win it for Leeds in the closing stages of the tie, now has to really score this penalty. Short run up from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Oh, he's put it miles over the crossbar. Well, this is falling into the lap of Sheffield Wednesday. 2 penalties, and it's 2 misses from Leeds United.
And just looking to our left, Bryn, the big travelling away following. Some have already seen enough, heading for their exit. They think it's done and dusted, as another experienced player in Liam Palmer stepping up for Sheffield Wednesday to go, can we believe it, 3-0 up?
Well, that just about wraps it if it goes 3, doesn't it? And Palmer again, another one, been there, seen it all, bought the t-shirt. Is stepping up here to put Wednesday almost out of sight in this shootout. And he does exactly that. He goes to the other corner, but it's another perfectly placed penalty kick. And it's 3-0 in the shootout, with Sean Longstaff stepping up for Leeds United now.
Of all the prep you've done in your career, Bryn, coming into today, did you ever expect to be saying that line?
Absolutely not. How has it come to be like this? Well, Longstaff has to score, obviously, and then an awful lot more still has to happen. Longstaff steps up. Oh, he saved it, and that's it. It's all over. Leeds United have failed to score any of their penalties in the shootout. Wednesday scored all 3, and it's the Championship side who progress in the Carabao Cup, and it's the Premier League side who walk dejectedly off the field of play, because Leeds required a late equaliser, and even then couldn't find a winner, and even then from the penalty shootout were blown away by a Sheffield Wednesday side that put all its pens away, and Leeds failed in each and every one. That is a major upset, because Sheffield United, such a young team they've started with, and they've come through and they've knocked Leeds United out the Carabao Cup, and this has not been a night that the Leeds players will want to remember for too long, and neither those Leeds fans who are already, many, well on their way to the exits. The one consolation, it's a relatively short drive home for most of them, but that has not been a good night for Leeds by any stretch of the imagination. The opportunity was there for cup progression tonight. There was absolutely no question about that. You only had to look at the team sheets at the start of the evening to work that one out. And Leeds have failed to take the opportunity that was presented to them. And there's a lot more work to be done ahead of a huge game against Newcastle United at the weekend. And the Wednesday players, fair play to them, they deserve to celebrate as they are doing, because these young players have never had a night in the game like this.
And they'll never forget this night for the careers, the rest of their lives. And yeah, full credit to the Sheffield Wednesday players, the staff, but we can't gloss over the fact that we got what we deserved tonight. We were second best. That kind of desire we spoke about to go and win a game of football, Sheffield Wednesday had more than us, and that is a hugely disappointing aspect. And yeah, you can lose a game of penalties, of course, but to do it against a young side throughout the 90 minutes, where we have so much quality, we have Premier League quality. And let's not forget, yeah, we made 9 changes, Bryn, but the players coming into the team tonight are knocking on the door of their manager wanting to start in the Premier League. I guarantee nobody will be knocking on his door tomorrow morning asking to start against Newcastle, because he's got no selection headaches off the back of that performance. And we've been humbled by Sheffield Wednesday, a young Sheffield Wednesday outfit tonight, but the attention swiftly and quickly switches to that Newcastle game. And let's be honest, that is our bread and butter, but so disappointing tonight, and that has been very, very kind to him.
So Daniel Farke went to meet with some of his players out on the pitch, and then he walks off knowing that actually at the end of this evening probably there are more questions than there are answers. Leeds United have fallen at the first hurdle in the Carabao Cup. They've fallen to championship opposition. It finished 1-1 and Leeds United lost the penalty shootout by 3 goals to 0.